Good morning and welcome back to the channel, and if it's your first time joining me, I hope you enjoy this episode. Today I'm on one of my favourite rivers, the Tweed River in northern New South Wales. I'm going to fish the riverbanks with a whole bunch of different soft plastics. Let's see how we go. The first lure that I'm going to start with is the Rapala Crush City Creeper, the motor oil colour. I'll find my S factor and whack a bit of that on. Okay, first cast of the morning. There's a little tick, and there's a fish. First fish of the day, didn't take too long. It's not a bad bream either. That's a good way to start the session, nice quality bream. I'm just going to cast this straight back to where I caught that fish from. See if he hasn't got a mate in there. Might have been a bite then. Yeah, it was a bite. Oh, missed him. A little bit tricky. There we go, 2 from 2 casts. I don't think this one's as big. Definitely not as big as the first one, but if this is the way the day is going to go, I think we're in for a good one. After I caught that last bream, I stopped the GoPro from recording so I could clean the lens, and I've just come up trumps, 3 from 3 casts now. Beautiful dusky floodhead. That dusky ate the creeper again. Now that I've got the GoPro recording, I'll see if I can make it 4 from 4 in this spot. Four from 4 casts this morning, this is insane. And that's possibly what will be the smallest fish of the morning, I'd say. Teeny little bream. It's not where I wanted it, in the tree. Damn it. Surely got to be a fish under the bridge. Fish straight on that. skip that one right up underneath the tree. It's a good way to catch a fish in the Tweed generally. They'll sit up under those shady spots. Just got to hook the fish now. That feels like a better fish. That one was sitting up in the shade. Even though it's early in the morning, they still sit under that cover. In the Tweed, they just love that shade along the bank. Oop, that one managed to get off. Anywhere where you've got a branch over the water is worth a cast. I think that's only a little one. Little tacker. Still using that creeper. Haven't changed lures since I started this morning. See you, mate. I've just picked up another rod. On this one I've got tied on the new Rapala Crush City, the Little Imposter. That's on a 1/16 ounce jig head. Normally in the Tweed where you have these cane drains, there'll be fish sitting up in them. Just throwing that one right up, see how we go. Not today. Maybe on the side of the drain. First fish on the Little Imposter since changing over. That one feels like it has a little bit more weight. Not really. Just another small tweed brim. Still good fun though, especially where you catch these guys from, skipping the plastics up underneath the shade along the riverbank. It's very visual, you're watching the line, watching for a bite. This section of bank along here looks really prime. Got plenty of shade, plenty of cover. A bit of a rock wall. See if there's any fish around the bridge this morning. Got a bite. I've just moved downstream a little bit. I've just picked up the flathead rod. Just going to have a little go through this section of river, see if we can't pick up a flathead or two. I'll whack some S factor on that as well. There we go, there's a floodie. Not sure if it is a floodhead. We'll find out in a minute. That's a little school Jew. As far as jewfish go, that's a pretty small one, but I'm always happy to catch a jewie. That's on the squidgy prawn wriggler, a 1/6 ounce head. I'll get the hook out of him and we'll get him back in the water pronto. All right, let's see if there's a bigger one down there. Only the one little jewie out of this spot, so I'll lift the electric motor up and go for a drive downstream and see what else we can find. Just pulled up on a new bank. We got plenty of shade, plenty of cover, nice little bit of current. I've gone back to the original lure that I started with this morning, little Crush City Creeper in the motor oil colour. There surely will be some fish along this stretch. Oh, there's a brim that followed it out. See if he eats it. Oh, he did eat it. It just wasn't good enough to hook him. This bank isn't as fishy as what it looks. I'll give it another 50 metres, and if we do no good, I'll keep on working my way down the river. Oh, had a fish, lost him, ended up in the tree. All right, time for a new spot. Look at that lovely shade for a bream to hang out in on a day like today. Let's move us out a little bit. Oh, there was one in there, but I just popped the leader on him. There we go. Flatty under the shade. Well, where I threw that one, I wasn't expecting a flathead, but I'll take him. I swung him into the boat, and the moment I got him into the boat, he actually got through that 4-pound leader. And that's the little Rapala crustody imposter that he's eaten. Get that out of his gob, get him back in the water, and retie it on. New lure time, just tied on another creeper, the banana prawn colour. See how the brim like that. Had a brim eat it, just couldn't keep the hooks in him. There we go. Found a fish under the shady tree, only a little fella. Someone's trying to ring me at the same time. It's the bottom. Another lure down. The brim have actually been quiet in this part of the river, so while I'm down here I'm going to go and chase a flathead, and if we have no luck on the flathead I'll move further upstream to where we caught those fish earlier this morning. I'm using the same lure that I caught the dew on before, the squidgy wriggle prawn. Just put a lure on my other rod with a bit heavier jig head, 1/4 ounce, and I've just made my way out into the main channel. We're going to have a fish through here, see if we can't pick up a nice flathead. Oh, just had a whack as I went to pull that in then. All right, time for a new spot. Nothing is really doing at all this part of the river, so I'm gonna go back upstream. Okay, I've made the move upstream. The water is still so clear for this part of the river. It's looking really nice at the moment. I don't know if that's why the fishing's a little bit slow though. Those fish might be a little bit shy to eat the lure in the clearer water. Nice little bit of shade just here. Oh, it's had a really nice fish. I think that's a floodie. Looks brown anyway. Followed it all the way out to the boat, turned away, and then I dropped it back, and he's eaten it. Oh, it's a jack. That's a really lovely surprise. Come on, get in the net. Wow. Well, I can't begin to tell you how stoked I am with that fish. It's still winter time, we're in the Tweed. I've just caught myself a 43 centimetre jack. It's not a bad catch considering I got 4 pound leader on this rod. He flew out from the bank and turned away at the last minute, and I just dropped that soft plastic back to him, and it's kind of why I thought he was a flathead, because I saw a big flash of brown. I didn't think it was a brim. As it turns out, lovely mangrove jack. You can see the little crushed city there in the corner of his mouth. I'll get the lure out of him and we'll get him back in the water. Just throwing straight back into where I caught that jack from, just on the off chance he's got a mate in there. There's a bite. That was a floodie for sure. I felt the tick, and then as I loaded up, nothing came back. Might actually pick up the flathead rod and have a go with that along here. There we go. There's a floodie. That was the plan. Flicking around little soft plastics with brim on the 4 pound leader today. I've been bitten off a few times, so the last fish that you saw just before, I decided that I'd pick up the flathead rod, and I've got 10 pound leader tied onto this one, and they're the fish that I think have been biting me off, those school sized fish, so there's no reason why we can't catch a big one though, so I'll persevere. We're back in the exact same area where we basically started the session. I feel like I drove away from the fish today. Probably should have stayed in this section of river, but I wasn't to know. Surely I'll get a fish on that cast underneath that shade there, and yep. Getting close to the middle of the day now, and any decent fish, by rights, should be under that cover. Not a bad little brim. That was on the creeper. I went back to the brim rod on this section of bank. Just had to tie that lure back on as the line broke. Just going to skip one right in there, nice and close. There we go. I knew this was the bank. We caught him here this morning. I drove away from him, couldn't catch a brim anywhere else, and we've come back to it and we're into him. Not sure what this is. He was just sitting on it. It's actually a nice flathead. Hopefully he doesn't bite me through the 4 pound that I've got tied on. It's going to back my drag right off here. I've lipped him, which is great. I just put this one on the brag mat. He measures 55. Really nice, healthy fish. I'll get him back in the water. Need to tighten up that drag from when I caught that flathead before. Nice little brim. Oh, good bit of shade there. I'd love to get a cast in there. I'm going to muck this up though, I think. Possibly going to crash as well. See you, mate. Okay, it's been a good morning, but the morning is nearly over. So this is my last cast. I'd love a nice big floodhead to finish. That's all she wrote. That wraps up what was a really interesting session. The brim bit hard early on and I thought we were in for a really good day on the brim, but after about the first hour they really shut down and I went looking for other fish and couldn't find them. Probably should have stuck in the area where we started, but that's fishing. It did cross my mind to head down to the mouth of the river and chase some of those spawning brim. However, the plan for me today was to stick to the middle reaches and I'm glad I did, catching that mangrove jack. I hope that you've been enjoying my content. If you've got any questions, make sure that you drop a comment below, and to stay up to date, make sure that you subscribe. I hope that you're getting out on the water, getting amongst the fish and having a good time, and I'll see you in the next one.